likely to drop drop tiny little bits. I don't know. Like, I wonder if we have somewhere, like, I guess somewhere that would maybe cater to people trying to impress someone, like, if it's on Valentine's Day or something, where somebody would, like, go into a store with their significant other and try to impress them by buying them jewelry. That might be a thing. And then I wonder if there are like events, like if you go to like maybe like the opera house, right? You would expect people to be wearing jewelry to the opera. So maybe if you go by the opera house, that could be good because more than like a jewelry area, I think people would be wearing jewelry to certain events, right? And there are certain areas of the city that might be more likely to have like just somebody has like a gold necklace and the rings rubbed together and a little bit, tiny bit chips off, right? Um, Looks like there's a bunch of jewelry shops between City Hall and Riot. Oh, you Googled it. Uh-oh. So that's just Yonge Street. That's just, like downtown Yonge Street. But I mean, there's a bunch of like everything shops there. Like the shops are really crammed together. Yeah, that's just like the main downtown area. That's not so much like a jewelry district. That's just the main downtown street. So like, maybe there's also a lot of construction there, and there has been for like about 5 years. So a lot of the shops that it says are there, they would have been used jewelry shops. Like they would have been like pawn shops and stuff. I think a lot of them, because it's not really a safe street to just have. I guess I can think of one jewelry shop that is there. That's probably not a pawn shop, but yeah. If the goldsmith is filing away jewelry and making stuff, their aprons and shoes get covered and it ends up on the floor. Oh, interesting. Okay. Then in that case, where would we have jewelry makers? Yeah, I don't think we have like handmade jewelry really. Like all of the jewelry that we have would be like made elsewhere. The best you could get is like if they're I'm gonna have to look around next time I'm downtown Toronto though. Gonna have to check it out and actually like because like I don't really wear jewelry, so I don't really pay attention. But yeah, I do know that like all of our jewelry shops, they wouldn't be making the jewelry. They would be they would be just ordering it in as is. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like most of our stuff is imported. I don't know if there's a district. Like even our fashion district has literally two fashion like fabric stores and like one fashion store. I like it has like Urban Outfitters, but that's not really fashion in the same way, right? Like we have a fashion district. It's at Queen and Spadina. We have two fabric stores. That's it. That's our like fashion and fabric district. We did have stores there at one point, but Toronto has gotten very we don't really have like we have Chinatown. We have like I guess racialized or community districts like Chinatown, Koreatown. We have the Jewish area. We have like stuff like that. But I don't think that we have and like we have the shopping district, which is like all of downtown, pretty much all of the city. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people really like Toronto, but I don't think it's really a good place to kind of like. There are definitely some nice shops, but yeah, we only have like one like fashion store in the fashion district, like one like kind of like independent fashion, I guess, store. And I mean, like everything else is stuff that you could find in a mall. Like, I guess if you're on Queen Street, you can still like see a lot of people dressed unusually in that area, but it's not where you would go shopping, I guess, for clothing. But yeah, Toronto, I don't know. I wanna see other cities so that I have something to compare it to. Like you see like, I don't know, Harajuku, right? Where like that's like the fashion district of Japan, or like even watching like Bernadette Banner videos where she goes to like the fashion districts in like New York or the UK, and she's like going and she's able to hit like 10 different fabric shops that all like sell really like niche stuff. It's like that's where I want to live. Gotta go. Oh, wait, no, just peeing. Okay. Don't say anything interesting without me here. I cannot make any promises, Miles. I cannot promise that. All right, we are like at the end of this box is empty. So time to process some more locks. Hope that wasn't so interesting. Um, but I'm actually, it's been 2 hours, so after I'm finished this lock, I'm actually gonna go grab a coffee. Um, and I will be back. It'll only be like 5, maybe 10 minutes, depending how fast it takes the water to boil. So it won't be too long. Grab a coffee and come right back. Much as I've loved catching back your stream, it's mid 20 minutes after midnight and you have a big day tomorrow. Oh my gosh. Yes, good luck at the fair tomorrow. I hope you enjoy. I did like a powwow recently where I was helping my roommate's family vend. And that was a lot of fun. Get ready to say the exact same thing 10 million times. Have a spiel prepared like this is what I do and this is why it's awesome. But take care. Hope to see you again soon, drunken dwarf, and good luck tomorrow. Drunken dwarf. I can't say words. It. Maybe I should write a script. Yeah, I mean, like it changes, right? Like it'll change. It'll be like you'll start saying something and realize people get bored halfway through, and then you'll find a way to like shorten it and make it more concise. So it'll be a process, but do get ready to say the same thing a bunch of times. So take care. We'll see you soon, and yes, good luck. Let us know how it goes. Alrighty, I'm going to hop off, grab me a coffee. See you guys in like 5 minutes. Hello again, guys. I don't think Drunken Dwarf saw that, so maybe next time that they come by, you can ask. Um, they have gone to sleep now. Um, but yes, I have coffee. Life is a little bit better, and we are flicking locks. Thank you so much, Smiles. Yourself as well. I hope your trip to the washroom was uneventful and satisfying. That suggests other things. Inference. I don't know. Right, so I keep dropping wool on the floor. Let's grab Ripper's over there. Just drag it towards me. There. And then what's that? That's a good lock. And this is a jumble of mess. I think that goes in here. All right. That is good now. Garbage. There. And yeah, and this is all we've got left to work with, guys. So, like, pick it all up just to show it off. This much. And that'll squish down a lot. This will definitely fit on the bobbin. Oh boy. There's not much left. It's, we're nearing the end of the project. Squeak, squeak goes the chair. It was uneventful, but reminded me that I locked myself out of the house today. Oh no! I'm glad you got back in. I assume that you're not just sitting outside. You just had to find a bush behind to pee behind. I hope that you were able to, excuse me. I made myself laugh, and I think I choked on some coffee. But yes. I hope you were able to get back in without too much trouble. That's always really frustrating. So yeah, I'm trying to get through as much of this as I can. What happened was my mom wanted to go to a shop near me, so invited me out to see her when she was almost here. So I decided to walk around the shop with them as I needed more bottled water. Makes sense so far. Mom wanted to take the water from my arms because they looked heavy, so I told her to grab my keys from my pocket and open the door so she feels useful. Always good to feel useful. We got in, talked a bit, she looked at my garden, and when we left, in my head, my keys were still in my pocket. So I closed myself out. Oh no, did she leave? Oh no, right, because you gave it to her, and then she didn't put it back in your pocket. Oh no, so she probably put it down somewhere. Oh no. I hope you were able to get back in quickly. I mean, clearly you're back at home now, so there's a happy ending somewhere. I guess you had to call your landlord or break in through the window. If you did break in through the window, at least you wouldn't have to worry about there being a window screen. Like, that's happened to me before where I've been like, oh, I could just like get into like my own house through the window. Yeah, but I can't because the screen's blocking me out. You asked your neighbor to let you into the garden just in case your back door was open, but it was locked. Oh no. Oh, just hop the fence. Oh. Good habits to keep the back door locked. Luckily, you left a spare key with your mom, but it's at her house, so they drove all the way home, had tea and chat, and then got a lift. Oh, well, that sounds like a nice day at least. Um, hopefully you and your parents got along. You and your mom, I should say. Did not mention anyone else. Well, you did say they, right? Um, but hopefully you guys got along and had a lovely day. Mom was supposed to go celebrate. Aw, so she had to miss a birthday. I mean, wine is always a good choice unless you specifically know the person doesn't drink. That's yeah. I It's always hard to buy gifts for people you don't know, but sometimes it's just like just get something. They also know that you don't know them very well, so if they're gonna be like, "Oh, why would this person think I would like this thing?" It's like, "Well, do you know what they would like?" Like most people are like if you get a gift from someone you don't know well, it's just like, "Oh, you tried." You bought plants, which you probably shouldn't, but it was lemon balm the first time you'd seen it sold in person. I bought ear plants and I saw them, they were cheap. Like they're usually like expensive because they're popular and people like them. Like they're popular and they're like kind of exotic. People are like, "Oh, that's a weird plant." So they usually price them pretty high, but I saw some for like $5 each, and then there were living stones for $10 each. So I ended up actually buying two air plants and the living stone and one pot of living stones. Is that how you pluralize that? Um, so I've bought plants recently as well. Um, they said they were easy. I was like, "Oh, I hear those are hard to grow." And she was like, "No, they're easy. You just have to you can just leave them out on the desk or you can she said they were easy, that you just kind of gotta like water them, like run them underwater every 2 weeks. That's what she said. When the leaves split and grow a new set, you're not supposed to water it. She didn't say that. Yeah, I was like, why you say? But they were cheap, right? They were like $5 each, and I bought two. So if I mess it up, I will just have be down by $20, which isn't so bad. And if I don't mess it up, if they do survive, then then I have new plants. These are still alive. I mean, I got them like a week ago, so I haven't killed them yet. Um, okay, I will. Oh man. Yeah, I hate it when people do that. I hate it when you go, and they do that at pet stores too. That's worse with pets because at least plants, it's like it's sad when they die, but animals are sentient, so I hate it when they do that with pet stores. They're like, "Oh yes, this animal is so friendly and easy to take care of," and then it's like the animal hates you. That was what they did with my chinchilla. They did say he was a rescue, but they were like, "Oh, look, he likes you. He's so friendly," because he was really friendly in the store. I guess because he was like, I think I misinterpreted him just kind of hanging out because he was stressed for him being relaxed. But that's what they had kind of suggested in the store as well. They said that he was like a rescue and that nobody was buying him, so they were like, "Oh, I guess I'll buy him. I really want him anyways, right?" But then he was like super unfriendly, and I was like, you know what? I shouldn't have listened to them, right? Like, like I shouldn't, like they weren't that bad. They weren't that bad. But like I've heard of people be like completely given like the opposite information just to make a sale. And then of course the pet is completely not what the owner expected. The owner wasn't told what to expect. So you can't really blame the new owner for like not wanting the pet because that's not the pet that, they said that they were getting at the pet store. But at the same time, it's like, well, what are you just gonna like give it to the pound or something at this point? Like, there's nothing you can really do. They're trying to make a sale, they're trying to make money, yeah. And it's like it's less of a big deal with plants, right? Because with plants, at least if it dies, it's not sentient, or if it's, you can't really abuse a plant in the same way that you can harm an animal. Um, Plants are like if they die, it's like it's sad, but you know, with animals, if they do that, it's like wow. But yeah, no, they definitely are trying to make a sale. I think the living stones will be pretty easy to take care of. Living stones are like a succulent; they look really cool. Um, so I just grabbed like the most colorful one because they come in different colors. I grabbed like the most colorful one. But yeah, I had a good like 10-minute convo with the shopkeeper and she was like, "Yeah, these ones are really easy to take care of." And then I was like, "Okay, what about this one?" "Oh yeah, this one's really easy to take care of." And I'm like, "If you say so. I guess it's cheap, so I'll buy it and if I mess it up, it's fine." Lithops. Yeah. Yeah, those are the wait, which one are those? Sounds familiar. I'm like, yes, that one. Wait, that one? I don't know. Don't mind me. Those are the living stones. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I thought I knew, but I don't know. Yeah, living stones. But they're a succulent and they should be pretty easy. Apparently you like water them every like few months or something like that, which makes sense because they're like a desert plant. The interesting thing though is like plants in their own environment are fairly hardy because they have to be able to live in the environment they live in at least long enough to continue reproducing. Um so stuff like living stones and air plants, you can expect that in their home environment they're not going to just like die super easy, which would mean that, if they get like inconsistent water because the environment isn't perfect, they would still be okay to like, they wouldn't die immediately and stuff, right? So there must be like, if so I guess what I mean is like there must be different ways of taking care of plants that will all keep them alive and healthy. Like, maybe keep them in a humid room away from a window, then they're gonna kind of absorb more moisture, but keep them in a dry room near a window and water them more often, and then they'll live, right? Like, so there are different kind of ways of taking care of plants. that that should all work, right? Um, so when some people say, "Oh, it's really hard to take care of this plant," what they mean is that like their method for taking care of the plant might be more complicated because that's what works for them, but what it might work for another person could be a different method of taking care of the plant. At least that's my theory. Like, obviously, I'm not an expert, or I wouldn't have so many dead plants. Um, but like that makes sense to me that like just because one person finds something difficult doesn't mean another person will find something difficult. And that there's kind of different ways to keep a plant alive. But maybe I got overconfident since my devil's ivy hasn't died yet. I know those things, they just can't die. But yeah, I do want to keep plants. I just am bad at it, so that's why I always keep buying them and being like, well, if I can afford it, then you know, either way, a plant is a luxury, but I do want to keep plants. And the only way that I'm going to learn how to keep them alive is by trial and error, I think. I mean, I'm sure I could take a botany course, but that is more difficult at this point. I wonder if it would be worth it to like learn botany in a school setting. So guys, if you are just tuning in now and you haven't seen the other days of this project, what I'm doing is called flicking. Just fluffing out the wool, getting it nice and ready to spin, nice and airy and separated. So I'm grabbing a chunk of wool. I'm trying to find the individual intact locks from this wool chunk. And just pull them out once I've gotten them kind of found. I'm just hitting them with the brush until all the tangles and mats and knots and bits of debris are out. And then I'm going to pop them in my box. This one's really messy here. You want to learn herbalism. Is that like botany or is that different? Botany is about plants in general. Herbalism is about medicinal plants. Oh, that's cool. I mean, that's like a medical thing, right? So that would basically just be like, wouldn't it just be like pharmacy? I mean, like pharmacy, I guess, with a focus on plants. Pharmacy is probably not the right word, like pharmacist. Oh, yeah, very important. And I mean, it's important to also have like a physician's knowledge of the body for that sort of thing. I see a lot of like naturopaths, I guess, that are like don't know the first thing about the human body, like trying to say that like they have like their herbs and supplements will cure people. And like it's true, there is a lot of medicine in nature, but the people who usually practice that kind of medicine are disappointingly undereducated. Um like to the point where they're just completely like should not be acting as any sort of doctor or pharmacist or physician or anything. To make a tincture, you infuse the herb in good vodka or some other flavorless alcohol. Yeah, and I mean, like, that's more like almost like historical medicine, I would call that, right? Like, it's interesting in the idea of like, this is what people, how people used to treat things, and maybe kind of studying like how, how that relates to modern medicine as well, right? And also like doing studies and stuff to prove like hey like the way that we know certain things work, right, is because we've done studies on it. um we've taken a supplement, given it to a group of people, and then been like, so do you feel any different? um we've observed the changes. So to kind of, I think a lot of doctors kind of don't respect herbal medicine as much as they should. And so there aren't all that many studies on a lot of kind of traditional cures. But like they're traditional cures for a reason. We just have better methods now over time of like studying them and finding which ones work. So to do kind of studies on like herbal medicine seems like something we need more of. I have no idea if you'd be interested in that, but like I would love it if people like if there were more people who would do like proper medical studies on herbalism rather than all the like people who are like, yeah, because herbalism is the right word. I realize this now. My brain clicked. Um because yeah, like a lot of people are like, you know, um a lot of like doctors are like, well, we have all the synthetic medicine we could ever need. But like there are a lot of conditions that aren't cured by like the medicines we currently have. Not just synthetic medicines, we also have like natural medicine that has been heavily studied. But I think something that would be really good is to have like, you know, herbal medicine actually given proper study rather than just having, you know, what's wrong with growing your own medicine instead of buying it? I think it's dosage. It's really its dosage. But like what you're saying about like yeah, like it's dosage. When you buy medicine, it's been tested in a lab to make sure that the parts per million of whatever chemical is um is the same, is consistent. So you can't just be like eat one leaf because you don't know how big the leaf is, you don't know if the plant has just gotten extra nutrients or whatever and made extra or too little of the dose, and so it's a lot less precise. Yeah, so that's why you wouldn't want to grow your own because um you have to make sure that you're dosing correctly. I mean, even dosage from like a medical perspective is a little bit weird with a lot of things. Like with a lot of things, it's just like they just give you a pill and they're like, "Can you feel it yet?" And then like I think Smiles, you're kind of going through something like that. Or yeah, you said you were taking a new medication, right? They like that takes a few weeks to build up. So like the doctor gives you like the pill and then you have to wait for it to build up, and once it's built up, then you're like the doctor kind of, you go back to the doctor and the doctor's like, is it working? Do we need more? Do we need to change it? Like trial and error. But at least that way it can be um monitored because they know exactly how much they're giving you every single time. They know that they're not giving you too high a dose when you start off, for example. One pill left, so you hope you get a refill on Monday. Oh my gosh, what? Why would they cut it so close? Um, that's not good. That's concerning. Why wouldn't they just give you enough to last you until the refill? I guess it technically. Why wouldn't they give you like one or two more just in case? I don't know. I know like doctors in different places have like different or allow you to do the refill like a little bit early just in case, you know. They told me to do it. Oh, okay. So this was your fault. Uh oh no. Well, good luck. I hope that they're able to. Having a little bit of trouble with this one. There we go. Won't kill you if it's still best not to. Best to keep it consistent. Similarly, if you keep it consistent, then you know exactly how, you know, then you can do a lot better in terms of like predicting how it's going to affect you. The locks that I'm doing right now, I don't know, I know that colors are a little bit difficult. It kind of just looks white on the camera, but it's like light pink on one end and light blue on the other, and it's giving me like unicorn vibes. Consistency is not in your repertoire. Yeah, I mean, like, with medicine, consistency is always the best. Um, Very good to go for, but I'm the same way. Like, it is hard for me to take a dose every day. I understand. I understand where you're coming from. I just recommend against it. Not being a doctor or anything, but just life advice. General life advice, consistency is important with medication. Not like blood thinners that might make you have a heart attack if you stop taking it. That's true. There are some medications that you absolutely cannot miss a day. And then there are some where, like, if you do, it's fine. Just try not to. But still, try not to. Just medication in general, right? If there's anything you're going to be consistent with, medication's a good plan. If you get to choose one thing, just choose medication as a whole. I'm trying to, like, figure out how, because there's, like, a lot of really intact locks, but I don't want to, like, accidentally, like, damage some other intact locks that are kind of near it. I think that's good. Um, what's this? I think that is good. Yep. Okay. This one's fine. And then medication, I choose you. Go Pokeball. I didn't know that was how it works, but I won't argue. I mean, there is a Pokemon that's literally keys. I mean, yeah, but I feel like if they released a Pokemon that was like a pill capsule, it would probably probably rub some parents the wrong way. Parents would probably be very concerned. Some would care more than others, but certainly some would be very worried about the state of the world these days if they let drugs into their children's games. I mean, thematically, it would make sense. Like, Pokemon are supposed to be monsters, right? Like, I think the key Pokemon is supposed to be like lost keys, kind of having like a life of their own. Like, maybe like keys like running away. Like, that's why you lose your keys because they just gain sentience or something like that. I don't know. I don't actually know what the description of that one is. I don't think I even know what its name is. But Pokemon are like supposed to be like literal monsters, right? Um, so the idea that like medication, something that a kid would have to do every morning potentially and not enjoy, that thematically that would definitely work. But I think it's probably good that they don't add a medication themed Pokemon. Probably a good idea. Hello, Dandy. How are you doing today? It could be Nurse Joy's helper like Clefairy, but Nurse Joy already has a Clefairy. Why would she need another one? Trying to like chug my coffee and kind of failing. Yes, happy Pride, everyone. We are getting closer to Pride weekend. I'm not going to be streaming on Pride weekend because I have that that's too bad. Because I have that thing. Can't do everything. Can't do everything. But we are going to be hosting lots of channels. I made a announcement. And knowing that Pride weekend is at a different week every in different parts of the world is at least it's only like I guess Toronto, but I don't know how many parts. I think the US has it at the same weekend, but I'm not sure. Could be wrong. So I won't be streaming except for my slot on the raid train. You are dealing with a little bit of a pain flare. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that, Dandy. I do hope it gets better soon. That is not fun at all. Oh, my roommate's home. I can hear him. He was playing God of War last night and it was so loud. So loud. Go poke the roommate, then run back here. Okay. I'm streaming. I was told to poke you and then run back. That's what I'm doing. Okay. Why? No, just curious. Okay. I did it. He chased me. I was gonna just do it and not explain anything, but then he like chased me back to my room and he was like, "Are you doing anything important?" Like I stream poking. Yes, maybe. I don't know how well you guys can actually hear what I say. When I'm not like right beside the microphone. Looks like I need to clean my brush. I've been doing it regularly. It's fine. Yeah, just kind of. Yeah, every few locks, depending how dirty they are. Sometimes Need to take the fluff off more often. Oh my god, Smile. Clipping everything now. Oh, my phone went off. That's all the way back there. I'm all the way over here. Why are you clipping everything, Smiles? I mean, I guess that's not bad. We've got a lot of clips that are just like random stuff that I think people. Because I think Smiles, you mentioned at one point that you were clipping when you didn't hear something that I'd said, not realizing that it saves. But, apparently people have been like, no, that wasn't you. Okay, it was somebody. There was somebody. You were there, I think. I'm pretty sure you were there. Oh, ow. Got like a. You do remember your accent. Okay, I thought that was. I'm sorry. You see, like, I'm like, Smiles was involved somehow. And then I realized that you come to like almost every single stream I do. But I know somebody was like clipping stuff and not realizing that it's saved because they were like, "Oh, I just wanted to like hear what you said again." I'm like, I think that's not the only person who's done it. I think that lots of people do that because they don't know what clipping is really about. Because there's like a bunch of just random things where I like mumbled that are clipped. And I'm like, huh, I wonder if that could be just all the same thing. Oh, something. So now YouTube has a clipping feature. I don't like it because it's like right under where I hold my phone. So if I'm like holding my phone and I accidentally touch the edge, it like clips the video and then it starts like replaying the bit that it thinks I wanted to clip. And I'm like, why are they saying the same thing over and over? Oh, I didn't want this. It can be annoying. Why are cats so cute? I don't deserve my cat. He is adorable. I mean, cats are also very pointy. Maybe that's the trade off. You get something extremely cute, but like also very pointy and noisy at night. Why do cats get so active at night? Yes, I learned this. You have learned that your cat is pointy and noisy. I think that's the trade-off. I think that's why humans are allowed to have cats. You need to you need to deal with the pain. I'm surprised, says Miles. Out of all of my years petting random cats, going to Turkey and petting all the stray cats, I've never gotten bit. I wonder if cats are more likely to bite you if they like you. Like having a pet cat, he's more likely to bite you than like maybe it's more of like a playful thing than a I don't like you thing. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not very good at cat. I don't understand them. When your pet cat bites, it's a warning bite. He's telling me to stop what I'm doing or that he doesn't like it. He doesn't break skin. This cat went straight for the I kill you. Wait, which cat? Yeah. Wait, are we talking about multiple cats or? Oh, you did get bit by a stray cat that you've been feeding. Maybe. I do not have a memory. I was gonna say I have like a sieve for a memory, but then I forgot how to pronounce sieve. Sieve. Strainer. Colander. My memory is nothing. Surprisingly, I didn't need antibiotics and it healed up pretty well. I'm glad to hear that it healed well. Definitely go to the hospital though and ask them if you should take like antibiotics or tetanus shot if that ever happens again. I'm glad to hear that it has healed well. I think I do remember. I remember saying something about like bite wounds being dangery. Well, that stray cat does not get any more food. It probably does. You're probably going to keep feeding it. Are you going to keep feeding it? I wouldn't. I would be like, yeah, well, I guess you didn't want any food then. I guess you didn't appreciate the food. You said your neighbor bugged you to go to A&E. I would too. They gave you a tetanus shot and prescription for antibiotics, but the pharmacy said they're out of stock and you should go back the next day. Next day, you slept a lot because of the shot. Oh, right, right. I remember this now. Oh, man. Well, I'm glad you didn't need antibiotics. Glad you did get the shot, and definitely try to grab antibiotics if that happens again, though. Man, never know. You can never be too careful. Maybe Turkish cats are just nicer. They don't bite as much. I don't know. That's my theory. Now you have a neat scar. Oh my gosh. You're lucky in this case. I mean, I think you're more likely to be fine, but it's because it's like you have like a 1% chance of getting sick, but then if you do get sick, you'll probably die. It's not like you have like a 50% chance of getting sick, but even if you do get sick, you'll like definitely be okay. It's like a really low chance still, but like it's a high enough chance of like actual death. Actual irreversible death. That's why kind of the antibiotics are so important. It's kind of like the same idea as like with COVID, where you're not very likely to die, but like you're likely enough that you're not even that likely to get really badly sick, but it's like you're likely enough. that on a large scale, you really don't want to take a chance, right? If the cat bite started to look angry, I would have gone to Annie on my own. That's fair. But I think at that point, it's like when it comes to bite wounds in particular, at that point, it's too late. Is the idea that like once you can, because it like the one that you don't want is you don't want it to start turning black, because once it's turned black, you're not gonna get that hand back. I mean, still go to the hospital. Better they take your hand than that you just like die, but you know. You have been feeding the cat, yeah. No more attempts at petting him. That's fair. He communicated his boundaries. It might just be that, like, if you were, like, feeding strays, or sorry, if you were petting strays in Turkey, maybe it's because you didn't, like, you weren't feeding them, so they wouldn't have come up to you if they didn't want to be pet. Could that be why? Is like this one in particular was like, I'm here for a reason, and the reason um, is not pets. I wonder if that's why. You had one cat follow you along the beach, scare off all the other cats that came near, and insisted on sitting in your lap. That is adorable. That is the kind of cat that you would want to take home. This cat. Oh no. This cat loves you. Or at least loves the pets and the this cat has you are now this cat's human. Street dogs in Turkey are better behaved than the pet dogs, seriously. And I guess it's like they're polite because then they get food. It's all about the food. The more friendly the animal, the more food they get. Yeah, I mean both dogs and cats evolved alongside humans to interact with us. So I mean it makes sense that like they would exhibit behaviors that humans find, you know, that make humans like them, I guess. make them more appealing to humans because like they evolved alongside humans because that was kind of the best survival strategy, right? The ones that didn't reproduce enough to carry their genes on. I mean, I know that there are parts of the world, like especially in like um, the Middle East, like Afghanistan, Iraq, places like that, where the dogs are actually really aggressive, the wild dogs. But like also people don't like dogs in that area of the world, so I almost wonder if the dogs being more aggressive is also because them kind of being friendly to humans doesn't get them anywhere because the humans will still not like them. But then, of course, if the dogs are aggressive, the humans will dislike them more. So it's kind of a chicken egg idea. They learn that humans aren't friends. Yeah. But I wonder if like humans also there learned that dogs aren't friends and like what I wonder what came first sort of thing. It was probably something gradual, but yeah. Probably gradual and probably like a bit of both. But yeah. I'm really trying to fit as much like wool into the box as possible. I'm trying to process as much as I can do. Um oh, it's like orange outside. I like sunset. Sunset nice. But yeah, I'm trying to like actually fit as much wool as I can into this box so that I don't know. As the project nears the end, I'm just like, oh, I wonder if I'll get all of the wool processed today. You know, there's so little left. Maybe I can like just process all of it and then kind of mark that off my list. And then all I'll have to do is spin it from now on. Because I have been processing since my break, which is like an hour and 20 minutes. That I've just been processing no spinning. Which I think a lot of the time it's kind of better because like the spinning wheel is loud and it's nice to be able to kind of talk and not feel like I'm shouting. Do I have another box? I do actually. I do in fact. Oh boy. Being an influence here. Being a bad influence here. Or a good one. Undecided. So much waste from this, but it is worth it. This is, not sure what this is. I'm gonna just pop it off. I keep seeing it. It's just this little lump of wool. Definitely garbage. It was just like, bothers me every time I look at it. So I can see that there's like a huge amount of like structure right here. But what that structure is actually hard to discern. That is a thing. I can peel that off because that doesn't need to be. Okay. So I'm not sure what this is. Or where, what goes where. I think it's like a bunch of locks, obviously, together, and I'm just trying to straighten them out so that they're parallel. And so I can hold all of the tips of all of the locks in my hand while I do this. And so that, like, if I'm not holding the tip of a lock, then this brush will pull it out. And then it'll basically be like garbage. I can try to salvage it, but I don't want to, do that accidentally and waste any wool, any good wool. You already kind of get a lot of waste with processing, but that's good. And then this is also kind of like, I think if I just am gentle with it and kind of stretch out bits of it, I'll be able to like at least most of it will be fine. The stuff that I really can't manage to figure out like which way it's supposed to go. Then I can just put it in my kind of scraps. Smiles, you said with all your waste wool, can you use it for felting? Because of the flake. So the flakes will come out over time. Whether you're spinning or felting or whatever, the flakes won't actually become attached to the wool. So they will come out over time. Like the wool that I'm using actually still has a bit of dirt in it when I've spun it into yarn. Not a huge amount because I am spinning it very fine. I think a better example of wool that actually has a ton of dirt in it is this stuff. This stuff has like a ton of dirt, not flakes, but dirt. And it will come off eventually. I think laundry soap has a chemical, I think it's actually a bacteria in it that breaks down certain proteins. So it might actually make sense to use actual just like laundry detergent on your wool. But the reason laundry detergent is usually bad to use on wool is that it also breaks down the wool fibers. But it might actually break down the organic fibers because it's meant to have proteins that break down like grease and skin flakes and stuff like that that are like natural stuff, right? Like just regular laundry detergent. What do you call it? Like washing up powder or something like that. But yeah. Even if it is scurf, it will come out over time. It'll come out as you work with it. As like it'll come out as you work with it, and it'll come out as you spin it. Like it'll come out as you process it, it'll come out as you spin it, and it will come out when you knit with it, and then wearing it and washing it, it's gonna keep coming out until there's no noticeable amount in there. So personally, I wouldn't throw it away. However, because it is your first fleece, maybe just getting rid of it is the best idea. If you put it in your garden as mulch, do make sure to look that up. I'm not like a garden expert by any means. I wouldn't really say I'm a wool expert, but at least I know a decent amount about wool. But I do not know about like gardening in terms of like what um I don't know about gardening in terms of um wool. So like definitely if you're just starting to process stuff, um it would be a good idea um to wait until you have a fleece that you don't hate. If you're willing to try it again, that is. Um it might make more sense because that's what I did. I didn't throw away my first fleece, but I still haven't finished processing it because I messed it up so badly. Um, but I have thrown away tender fleeces, and I actually threw away recently an extremely dirty one. It wasn't scurf, it was just like mud or poop. I'm not sure which. It looked like the sheep had rolled around in like a pigsty with like liquid mud before getting shorn because like all of it was covered in like caked on really thick mud, maybe both. Um, because yeah, it was just like really thick caked on mud, and I was like, I can wash this off of one lock at a time. I can't actually like use this fleece though because I can't wash one lock at a time. It's gonna gum up my plumbing. So I was just like, whatever. I guess it's garbage because it's super dirty. Like if I had the ability to like soak it and then just dump the water in the garden or something, I would do that. But because that's not kind of I don't have that kind of living situation. I mean, I don't honestly like it's fine. I don't need to. Um I do not have a garden, no. I have a balcony. I don't really want to be dumping water off the balcony. I think that's against the rules of the apartment, and if it's not, I'm not sure why with however how many other things are against the rules. No, I can't. And if I could, I still shouldn't. Like, even if I was technically allowed to. Uh, what kind of a jerk would do that? Well, somebody like a few like maybe a month ago, somebody like threw a flower pot off of their balcony, and it almost hit somebody. And it like woke my roommate up. I've slept through it, but it woke my roommate up because the guy who almost got hit was shouting up like, "What the heck, dude?" And then the guy who threw the pot was like, I don't know, shouted back down. He was clearly like drunk or whatever. Um, yeah, that was not. It's just wrong. I don't live in a very nice kind of neighborhood. I would like to live in a nicer neighborhood, but that requires money. I want to use up all the purple. I want to get all the purple wool done. So there's a bit of like here, I guess this is purple. There's more pink, so that's fine. Pink, yellow, blue, no purple though. And that might have like a bit of a purplish blue, but that's fine. This is really the only bit of purple left. They keep being like, is there anything on the floor? No? Okay, good. Um, what's this? This is this, and that is that. This goes there too. And these go over here. I really am almost done. I'm super close to being done. That could kill someone. You can't just throw it off your balcony. You can't. It's not safe. Yeah, no, well that was clearly just some drunk idiot. Um, Ow. Pricked me. Did I get a sliver? It's so tiny though, I can't see anything. Did I get a sliver? Did I not get a sliver? That's so weird. Something that kind of stings. No, it's too thin. Like, it's too small. Like, I can't see it at all. That rhymed. I think I do see it. It's so tiny. Yeah, I don't know. Do I see something or am I just kind of imagining it? It really, really, whatever it is very small. Ah, I got it. What? I think I got it out. Little black dot. Now it's like under my nail. I don't want that to get in my skin. Yeah, it's just. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't think it's like a meadow splint. I think it was just like a little, maybe the tip of a thorn or a burr. Like the wool, the sheep do get um like they get like stuff in them. They get like grass and hay and stuff like that. It's something that's bothering me here. Let me just. Nope, literally nothing. Just hurts for some reason. Okay, cool. Cool beans. Oh, weird. It's like a blister. Huh. I guess it's a blister on my hand. Don't know where it came from, but we got one. But yeah, like there's no like blood. Like my hand's not like bleeding or anything, like on my finger. I'm like, don't know what that was. Once you had a rose thorn under your skin that you couldn't dig out. So you let it get infected so the pus will lubricate it and it's good. Actually, that's so your body has its way of, and it's basically what you just described, except it's not, you don't need an infection. If you have something under your skin, like something kind of stuck in your skin, while your body will surround it with pus. Not just an infection, just anything that's not supposed to be in your skin. Your body will actually surround it with pus, and I think that's like a specific name for it because it's not pus if it's not in bacteria. Maybe not, maybe not. But yeah, your body like does do that naturally. It doesn't need to have an infection in order for that to happen. You definitely do not want to get an actual infection. Um, but what probably happened is that your body just like let it swell up there and you mistook it for an infection. Hopefully, you don't want an infection. Infections are colorful. They can be like green. It could be green, I could be blue, I could be an infected hand, an infected thorn. I don't know. Don't know. It stayed on my skin for days, maybe 2 weeks. It was just horizontal in the skin. It didn't go deep enough. Yeah. Yeah, your skin will find a way. Your body does find a way to get rid of like foreign bodies. Sometimes your body will also like heal around things. Like I have pencil lead in my skin. My body was just like, you can keep that here. I'm not gonna be a it's not gonna be a problem. So now I just have a piece of metal in my hand. I remember that hurt a lot. because it went like right into my fingertip, and you have a lot of nerve endings in your fingertips. Graphite, right? So pencil leads aren't actually made out of lead. If it was actually made out of lead, I would have wanted to get it surgically removed. But I still call it lead just because it's what people call pencil leads. When you say I got a piece of graphite, I don't know, doesn't click the same way, I guess. Maybe it's just me. I'm always like thinking like to say things in the way that the most people are gonna like understand. It's probably part of masking, but it's I don't mind it so much. It makes sense to me. Um, but maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should be less concerned with communicating in the most simple of terms. All right, I'm gonna start spinning this. We only have a small amount left. Could finish it today. It's possible. Not probable, but possible. I think I actually have a blister on my hand because I've been like when I spin, I rest my hand on the desk, so I'm gonna take a band-aid to it. Um, take a band-aid to it. Yep. It's not like a cut or anything, it's just like an actual blister. The skin's not broken, so I'm not worried about cleaning it. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, it works. Hopefully it'll stick. Stepped on a piece of broken glass the other day. That was fun. The band-aid stayed on my foot. I put it on my foot right before I went to sleep. And then when I woke up the next morning, I like walked to the kitchen and then I was like, oh, the band-aid is stuck to the floor. Gross. Let's hide that away and throw it out before the guest notices. You said when you got the cat bite, you were worried the plasters wouldn't stay on overnight. You put a sock over your hand. Oh, the band-aids, yeah. I mean, usually medically applied bandages are a little better because they get the better, like, if you got, like, just band-aid band-aids. Um, I know you said plasters, but I'm Canadian. Um, but if you got just, like, actual, like, bandages, like this one, um, you end up, then they tend to be better when you get them from the hospital. Uh, but a lot of the time they'll like use like proper kind of medical tape and a cotton pad, and those ones are great usually. You put some antiseptic. Oh, so you had to put them on. Yeah, fair. Yeah, you kind of have to like clean the antiseptic off around the area. If I ever went to England, it would be like weird because like I know a lot of these terms from like BBC television because I watch like Doctor Who and like a few others. And also, you just kind of learn it, I guess, on the internet too. Oh yeah, I watch like YouTubers that are from the England. Uh, and so like you just tend to learn these terms through like cultural osmosis, I guess. But like if I ever went to like actually went to England, it's kind of like going to like it would be like going to like some sort of like fantasy world almost, I feel like. It would feel like people don't say these things in real life. People only say these things on the screens that I watch constantly. And then when I like actually if I ever actually got there, then it would feel like people don't people actually talk like I know people actually talk like that, but I didn't know but I know that like my brain would have like a short circuit if I actually saw like real people just talking like that sort of thing normally. Uh Smiles, you said my mom said today my she started saying tomato instead of tomato. Why? Did she just like catch the American? I feel like it would be weird to hear somebody with a British accent saying like tomato. She likes being different. Uh, oh my gosh, that's silly. That's cute though. I like that. Don't think she realizes there are more Americans in the world. Oh, I mean, but saying tomato with like a British accent would be like saying tomato with like an American accent. It would be weird. It would be different. Well, as you said, you used to say oregano the American way because you thought it sounded silly. It does sound silly. Wait, what's the British way? Then you realized it was Americans, and you're like, ew, I don't want to be like one of those. Americans are icky. Americans are icky. They don't use U's where U's are supposed to go, like in color or favor. What do Americans have against the letter U? Oregano, as opposed to what? Am I doing it wrong? Oregano? Is that? I don't know how a British person would pronounce oregano. I don't think that you can make that sound any less silly by putting an accent on it. Oregano. It's Wingardium Leviosa. That one I can do because you put so much emphasis. Like I try not like I don't do accents. I'm not good at accents. But that quote from Hermione is It's like you have to say it in like a British accent because it's the only way it can be said. Well, yeah, guys, help me keep the stream going. Donate money to me, or sub, or bits, or shop. It's been a while since I've gotten any subs. It's been a month since I've gotten any subs. I'm dying here. I'm starving. I'm starving to death. Also, I have other social links. Thank you. It's because the Streamlabs is like it's meant to do that every 2 hours, but it doesn't do it every stream. Oh no, Smiles is unemployed again. Yeah, I'm like, I'm like, I really, I don't know. We used to have a few people come by and give subs or donations, and I had a few people, including you, Smiles, buy stuff off my shop. But now I don't have anybody coming in and subbing and purchasing. And I'm like, am I doing something differently? Is this just because COVID is ending and people are less interested in like Twitch now? Like I don't know what's changed really. I did take a break and the momentum stopped. That could be it. That could be it. When I did start streaming, though, there were more people interested. When I was, maybe it was because I was an extremely small streamer. Um, there's a lower viewer count on all streams now that COVID is over. That's good to know. Well, that makes complete sense. I really do wish that I hadn't stopped, but can't regret the past, and I stopped for reasons. I'm just going to keep working at it and hope that the stream continues to do well. Honestly, right now I'm hoping for a higher kind of follower count. I mean, obviously, I can't really choose what happens, but choose how people decide to support the stream. But I'm hoping for a higher follower count because that number doesn't really fluctuate; it only goes up. I mean, I guess new followers per stream or new followers per week could be a thing. But yeah, and I'm hoping that the raid train thing does bring a bunch of new people to the stream. 'Cause really, what I want to do is get the viewer count up. Like, obviously, I want to be making money from the stream, but what I really want is to be able to get the viewer count up. Uh, like the average viewer. Um, which is really too bad about it going down after COVID. Yeah, I feel like mine's probably a little lower. But yeah. Well, let's hope for a new lockdown. No, not at all. Um, yeah, I don't know. At my old place, I was having a lot of trouble streaming daily, and I don't know why that was. At first I was trying to take like 2 day breaks every week, like have like a weekend essentially, but that didn't work out for me. I think my mental health at my old place was really bad, even though I liked the place a lot. I liked the location, I liked everything about it, but I felt like I think monkeypox is overblown. I think people hear a new, disease, second pandemic, another lockdown. We'll never be out of lockdown. Like I think that people are just like used to hearing kind of disease equals lockdown these days, but I don't think that monkeypox is not PTSD. Wait, you mean like when I was not feeling well because of my mental health? Maybe. But yeah, I think people are just like kind of attuned to um Oh no, for the monkeypox then, yeah. Um, I was gonna say because I do have PTSD, which does affect my mental health. So like I don't know, but yeah, I don't think that would be considered really PTSD. But I see what you're getting at. Yeah, people are just kind of easily. But yeah, it has to do with like psychology and people looking for patterns. So when our especially subconsciously our brains look for patterns. So when people hear new pandemic, new outbreak, they think new lockdown, which I don't think monkeypox is going to end up being. And I mean, part of PTSD is the brain looking for patterns. Like PTSD really is like a similar mechanic, but a similar mechanism rather, but like a different severity and kind of like a different effect. Certainly, there will be people who have PTSD from like COVID related stuff. Um, like for example, somebody, especially if somebody was kind of overly frightened of COVID, like if somebody was like, terrified of COVID, like some people would have been, like some people probably still are, to the point of like never leaving their house and never kind of, if somebody thought the pandemic was a lot more severe than it is, then even if they learn later that it wasn't so severe, they could still have PTSD from like the trauma of not thinking they're able to go outside. Like that's an unusual case, but there are extremes everywhere. Yeah, this is definitely the spin is definitely seeming a lot slower. So like there's a point on the bobbin. There's a point where the bobbin gets filled up and it feels like it's taking forever to fill up. You know what? I'm not looking at the bobbin. I'm looking at my box of locks. I'm looking at the locks that I have left to do. I have like one batch of locks left to process. If I could pick up another craft book, like, do you mean like, because like I can pick up another craft, I just have to Google search where to buy the materials. But do you mean like one that I would be as confident at as spinning? Like if I could just be like, suddenly I know another craft, um, and not have to go through the learning period? Because I do. I'm okay. Yeah. So shoemaking. Um, I want to learn shoemaking really bad. I have some leather. I've been trying. I need to buy a shoemaker's last, which is basically just a wooden foot to shape the shoe around. But yeah, I want to learn shoemaking. It seems like fun. Seems like hard work, but then you have shoes, which is like the one kind of thing that I can't really make out of wool. I mean, I can make the upper, but I can't make the entire shoe out of wool. And I could mend shoes. Yeah, exactly. Actually, right before lockdown, I had signed up for a shoemaking course, and then lockdown happened and the course was canceled. I hadn't paid yet, and I was very sad and disappointed. Yeah. Oh no. And then I used the money that I had saved up for that to go to Nova Scotia, which we know how that turned out. You know, it's fine. It's I have more money saved up. So when places open up again, as slowly things are starting to open up, I need to keep checking back. Uh, Slowly as things are opening up, I'm going to find I'm gonna find that course again. I think it was like heart and soul, like SOLE or something like that. It was like a pun for soul. Right, guys, the stream has been on for about 4 hours, so I'm gonna take my next break. Leather shoes might sell better than wool, or just handmade shoes in general might be easier to sell than like handmade yarn stuff. But I mean, it depends, right? Like, if it's like a canvas shoe, maybe I could weave it. I could weave the canvas. But like, I just meant for myself, it would be cool to kind of make wool shoes. Everyone uses shoes. Knitters are fewer in number. Exactly. And, you know, also, everyone is like, you can. I feel like clothing is just a more accessible craft, which is good if you want an accessible craft, but like if you want to make money, scarcity is a good thing. So shoemaking being kind of more scarce, people being like, I couldn't even imagine doing that, right? Making my own shoes. Um, you know, it's pretty cool that um then people might think it's cool that I can make my own and be like, oh, you know, like I understand the value of shoes. Shoes are worth like $100 for like a normal pair of shoes, right? And it's not an accessible craft. My grandmother doesn't do it, you know? So I definitely want to. All right, I am going to take a break. I will be back in about 15 minutes. All right, guys. Hello. Let's do this again. Um, I took my break. Then I'm not even really hungry. I probably should have grabbed a snack, but whatever. I actually wanted to look up, and I found Art and Soul Academy. I remembered what it was called. I looked it up. Welcome back. Thank you, Smiles. All right. Want to do some power spinning? See how much we can get done in the next 1 hour and 45 minutes. Maybe a little bit longer if I feel like I'm like super close to done. I might go further. Because I do think that there are days that I spin faster and days that I spin slower. I don't know. I think sometimes it's up to my wheel. I think my wheel just is nicer on some days. It could be like the weather or something like that. The temperature or the humidity that causes my wheel to just be more cooperative and go faster, easier. But it could also just be my attitude or my mental state. Like, I do know that I have like weird, dramatic shifts to my mental state sometimes. Like, I don't think it's super noticeable, but I notice it in like how productive I'm able to be in a day. Even if I feel exactly the same 2 days, sometimes I just get a lot more done on like a specific day than another one. Obscure my hands, but I can turn it sideways so that it's more noticeable.